So in the meantime, we'll just discuss this. Suppose you want to control a heater, okay, from heat it to some 1000 degrees centigrade. So how do you control that temperature? Any answers? How do you control a system at 1000 degrees centigrade?
So we'll have a thermocouple or something inside the heater.
Okay, measurement, fine.
And then that measurement is sent as feedback back to the source of heating. So
Forget
if it's
about
more
controller and all. Okay, so think of a very simple one. Okay, think of a very simple one. How are you going to do it?
You'll just increase and decrease the amount of energy provided.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In a furnace, for example.
Yeah, that will have on-off switch. Okay. Switch on the heater, switch off the heater. On-off switch will be there. But will you have any control in the power?
Yeah, sir. If you take a gas furnace, you can control the amount of gas that is being burnt every second.
Okay.
Or minute. And then depending on the temperature, you can increase the rate of flow or decrease the rate of flow.
Okay. Suppose if there is only on-off switch.
Yes, so we switch it on until we reach the temperature. If it overshoots, then we switch it off so it naturally cools down.
Okay. So that is also a type of controller. And the other one example, what you said, where you have some manual control, okay, to supply the input power. Okay, these are the types of controls we know. The simplest is on-off. Okay, the simplest is switch on when it is required, switch off when not required. So once it reaches 1000 degrees centigrade, you switch it off. And when it goes down below that, you switch it on again. Okay, so that is a basic controller which we can think of, on-off switch. So here, can you see this Simulink window?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So here, I'll come from left to right. This is step input. Okay, step input means what? What do you mean by step input?
It's like incremental input.
It can have the desired output value. Okay, so this final value is the desired value. Okay, so it can be 1, it can be 1000, it can be 500, it can be any value that is the desired output. Okay, so for simplicity purposes, I put it as 1. I can even put as 1000. I can put as 500. Any value is okay, depending on what is the thing that is required. Suppose if you are talking about heating, then what is the temperature required that you have to put here, the final value. Okay, so that is the step input. Now, what do you see here? What are these? What will come here actually after the comparator?
Controller, sir.
Control system.
Yeah. Controller. Okay. This whole thing is the controller. I'll explain this controller later. What do you see here?
Transfer function.
That's the plant, sir.
That will be the.
That is the plant.
System. Yeah, plant.
That is the system. Okay. Fine. What is this one?
Feedback.
Feedback system sensor, sir.
It is a unity feedback. Unity feedback.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One, yeah.
Okay. So that means unity feedback means what? You are not considering noise. You assume that the sensor is working perfectly. Okay. So that is what is called as unity feedback. Now we need to develop. So how do you get this? How do you get this plant? How do you get this thing? 1 divided by 2s square plus 2s plus 1.
We had that formula right, sir.
The transfer function, sir.
Transfer function formula.
Now, how do you arrive at this thing?
We solve using Laplace transform, sir.
Yeah, Laplace transform.
By what process you identify the model?
Black box method or white
Yeah,
box
system identification. The name is system
system
identification.
identification.
Okay, so you use a process called a system identification, whether white box or black box, you get this mathematical model. Now you have to control this thing. Okay, now what is the desired output mentioned here? 1. Okay, final value is 1. Now there are 3 things here. This is 1, this is 1, and this is 1. 3 units you see here in this controller. Okay, now I want you to concentrate only on this thing, which is shown as 1 here. Okay, because the other 2 are 0. Okay, other 2 are 0, so the effect of this is not seen. Okay, so forget about this part. Okay, this part don't consider. Okay, look at only this one. Now I have 1 here and I have a transfer function here. So what will be the output? It will be what is this? This is a closed loop transfer function, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the closed loop transfer function for this? If this is GC of S, this is G of S, what will be the closed loop transfer function? It will be GC of S multiplied by G of S divided by
1 plus
1 plus GC of S into G of S. Okay. Suppose if it is an open loop system, then it is just 1 into this one. Okay. GC of S multiplied by G of S. If it's a closed loop system, it is GC of S into G of S divided by 1 plus GC of S into G of S. Okay, this is what we derived the other day. Fine. Any doubts in that? Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you put a step input as 1. So the desired output is 1. So I'll run this and then check the output of this. Okay. So what do you see here? What value do you see? Do you see the value?
Yes, sir. It's close to 0.6.
This is 0.6 here. Okay, this is 0.5.
0.5.
Okay, it is 0.5. But what did we require? We require 1. Okay, the desired output is 1. But what we get as output is 0.5. So not enough. Okay, that means if the input was 1000, then suppose the desired value is 1000. Okay, I want 1000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so what will be my output? It will be somewhere 500. Okay, so this, why I am showing this is, this need not be always 1. For simplicity purposes, we keep it as 1. Okay, this can be of any value. Okay, so now, so this is called as gain. Okay, this is called as gain. Now I'll increase this. I'll increase this gain to say 5. Okay, and then apply. Run this and then look at the output. What is the value? This is, see, there is some fluctuation over here and then there is some steady state. Okay, this is steady state. That means the value is not changing further. So what is the value here? 0.8 to something.
It's a little more than 0.8.
Yeah, little more than 0.8. but still what was the value required? 1. Okay, so how it is calculating is, how is this, what is the input that it is going to this? Okay, that we'll see. So here 5 is there. What was the error? Error is how much? 0.82. Say take it as 0.82. 1 minus 0.82 is how much?
0.18.
0.18. Okay, that is the error which comes here. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Correct?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
1 is the desired output. 0.82 is what you're getting. So error is 0.18. Correct? 0.18 multiply by this 5. How much? Can someone calculate?
0.9, sir.
Hmm?
0.9.
So you see this, what did I click? I clicked after the controller. Okay, the input that comes, the output that comes from the controller. Okay, the signal that comes out of this controller can be seen here. Okay, so this is what I see, close to 0.9. Okay, so this is what goes inside. This is the signal which goes inside. So it is 0.9. How did I get that? I multiplied the error with this gain. Okay, I multiplied. If suppose Kp is the gain, okay, Kp is 5. Okay, so what goes from the controller is Kp into the error. Okay, Kp into error goes here. Okay, any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
so have you come across these topics before any time?
Sir.
Hmm?
No, sir.
Okay, so you apply 10 here and then run this. You look at the output. It is close to say 0.9. Okay, 0.9 something. Now 0.1 is the error. Okay, 0.1 is the error into 10. Okay, 0.1 is the error, correct? 0.1 is the error multiplied by 10 is how much?
1, sir.
So you see the signal, this is 0, this is 2, exactly in between. Okay, so this is 1. So what is happening? It is the gain here multiplied by the error which comes out from the controller. Okay, clear? Now I'll change this to say 20 and then apply and then run this. It's close. It's say 0.95. Okay, 0.95. I'll change it to say 100. Gain as 100. Then apply. Run this. Any doubts, please ask. This is close to this value. Okay, but it's not exactly 1. Do you see this? 2
Yes,
lines?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, even with a gain of 100, the steady state error is not 0 still. It is close to 1 but not 0. But do you see here the, what is the value it has gone to initially? It has gone to overshoot by 1.8
By
nearly.
0.8 it has gone, yeah.
Okay, 1.8 it has gone to nearly, and then here it is a 1.5. Okay, this is all the overshoot. The required value was 1, but your system has the controller has taken the value to nearly 1.8. Okay, that means what? If 1000 degrees centigrade was required, what will be the overshoot for this?
800 extra. sir,
800.
1800.
800.
1800 degrees centigrade
Yeah.
it will go.
Mm.
Okay, 1800 degrees centigrade. Suppose that furnace will not withstand, say. Suppose your furnace is designed only to withstand the temperature of 1200 degrees centigrade. Now, what will happen? 1800 degrees centigrade, if it heats to it, the coil will melt, or there will be some problem with the furnace. Okay, so this is not the optimum thing to do. Okay, so this we don't want this overshoot to be so high. Now, how do we reduce this overshoot? Okay, so there are some methods by which you can reduce this overshoot. So also another thing what we saw was we didn't reach the exact value. I wanted 1000 degrees centigrade or 1 here in this case. I want it as 1, but it is some 0.95 something like that. Okay, so it is not 1, it is some 0.95 something, but I want it as 1. So this is called a steady state error. That means from here to here it is steady, but it maintains that error. So it is called as steady state error. Fine. Okay. Now coming to the this one, this controller here. Okay, this part of the controller is discussed. Coming to this one. Okay, so this is nothing but okay. We'll discuss about this one. What is inverse Laplace of 1 by s? It will be an integral. Okay, the integral in time domain is 1 by s in s domain. Okay, so what it does is it integrates all the errors and multiplies with the gain over here. It is 0 here. I have to give some value here. Okay, so this 1 by s, what it does, whatever error was accumulated, it will add all the errors. For each signal, what was the error? It will add up all the errors and it will multiply with the gain value. Okay, the value which we give here. Now we need to give some value here. Okay, I'll give it as say 1.5 or 1.5. Okay, apply, and then I change this to say 2. Okay, I'll bring it to 2 and I'll keep this as 1.5. Since I was using only this one previously, I was increasing only this. Now I have two things to control. So I'm having a value here, I'm having a value here. Okay, so now if I run this, if I look at the output, what do you see? Do you see the steady state error?
Yes, sir. It is coincident.
Steady state error is 0.
It's 0, sir. It is coincident. Yeah.
Okay, there is no steady state error. But is there any problem with this controlling? There is
The
overshoot.
The initial overshoot is very high.
Initial overshoot is high. It is 1.4 something. Okay, here it is 1.5. So I can take it as 1.4. Okay, overshoot is there. That's the problem. But otherwise, with this thing, the steady state error has gone to 0. Okay, so it is called as the integral type. Okay, so the Laplace transform of the integral is 1 by s. Okay, so what you're doing, you're collecting all the errors, summing it up and giving a gain to that goes here. Okay, and also you are sending a proportional one. So this is called as proportional. This is called as integral. Now there is one more thing called as a derivative. Okay, so it takes the difference of the error, that is current error minus the previous error. Okay, not the desired output. Current error minus the previous error divided by the small delta t. Okay, with which you collect all the signals, right? So it's a small delta t, small error difference between the current error and the previous error divided by delta t multiplied by the gain here. Okay, I'll give some value over here. I'll say 2. We are just doing trial and error method. I'll come back to how to control all these things, how to come up to these values, that we'll see later. Okay, we are just doing some trial and error method. So I've given this derivative gain. Okay, it is 2. Now I'll run this and then look at this. Do you see the overshoot has reduced?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there is no steady state error. It is exactly at 1. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll reduce this integral thing. I'll reduce to say 0.5. Then apply. Just doing some trial and error. There is no logic over here. So can you see here?
There's
Has
no
come to 1.
overshoot and it is steady, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have some higher value here, say 0.8, say, okay, and run this, and then look at this, you have some small overshoot. Okay, and then it has reached the desired value. Okay, x-axis is time. X-axis is time. Now, what did you understand from this? This is called as proportional. This is called as integral. This is called as derivative. Okay, proportional, integral, derivative. Now all three things are getting summed up here. Okay, so all are plus here. Okay, but you have a minus here because this is comparing the error. So you have a minus here, but here you are summing up all these things. Okay, if you sum up all these things, what will it be? It will be 2 plus 0.8 by s plus what will be this? What is the derivative of, what is the derivative in Laplace domain? What is derivative in Laplace domain? Anybody? Like integral is 1 by s. What will be the derivative?
Just S, sir.
S.
Yes,
Okay.
then, yeah.
S. It will be 2 plus 0.8 by s plus 2s. Okay. This is what goes from here. Okay. 2 plus 0.8 by s plus 2s. Okay. This is what this thing is. Okay. And so you are able to achieve this desired output with this. Now what is this called? This is called as, I'll just, just a second. Yeah, this is called as PID control. Okay, proportional. P stands for proportional, I stands for integral, D stands for derivative. So what do you see here? It is Kp is the proportional gain. Okay, the value that you enter. Okay, proportional gain. E is the error. Error into Kp. This is what we did. We checked this also, this part. Okay, and then integral is Ki is the gain value that you enter. This integral is nothing but it is summing up all the errors so far. it is summing up all the errors so far from 0 to t. Okay, up to that particular time, it is summing up all the errors multiplied by this ki. And then this term is taking the derivative of the error. That is the previous error and the current error difference. Okay, that difference with that small time t multiplied by the derivative gain. Okay, you add all these things, this is what you get here. Okay, this multiplied by the e of s. Okay, so you can write it like this. If you take s common, it will be k d s square plus k p s plus ki if you take s common. Okay, because ki by s is there, only for this by s is there, so you take common, you get this. Now what is the thing that you have understood here? So here it is kp, ki, kd. Okay, there are three parameters. There are four parameters. Leave out stability. We'll discuss stability later. Consider only these three: rise time, overshoot, steady state error. What is rise time? What do you mean by rise time?
Time taken to reach the value.
That is the time taken to reach set
Time
value.
taken to reach that desired outcome.
Desired value. Yeah.
Okay, so that time decreases with the proportional gain. Okay, meaning if you have a higher proportional gain, the faster it will reach that desired output. Okay, okay, sorry. So this is rise time decreases with increase in kp, that is proportional gain. Okay, kp means proportional gain, the value that you entered, no, first, that one. What it also causes is it increases the overshoot. Okay, you saw overshoot happening, so it increases. So this is a problem. This is good. Rise time decreases, this is good. So we'll be able to get the desired output faster, this is good. But overshoot increases. Okay, this is a problem. Steady state error decreases. Error decreases but doesn't go to zero. Some error will always be there. If you use only kp, you put ki equal to 0, kd equal to 0, use only the proportional gain, you can reduce the rise time, you can the overshoot will increase, and also the steady state error will decrease, but it will not be 0. If you use ki, rise time again decreases, overshoot also increases, but see here, this is the advantage that you get. It eliminates the steady state error. Okay, it eliminates the steady state error. Here kp decreases the steady state error, but ki eliminates it. That is when you reached the desired output 1. Okay, when you added some gain for ki, it eliminated the steady state error. Okay, when you have the derivative can be thought of as a damper. Okay, derivative can be thought of as a damper. What does damper do? It will reduce the overshoots. Okay, overshoots decreases. Okay, rise time there is a minor change, that's all, but it decreases the overshoot. Steady state error, it has no effect. Okay, so a combination of these three is called as PID control. P stands for proportional, I stands for integral, D stands for derivative. So it is a sum of these three. Okay, proportional, integral, and derivative. Now I have one question. Just a second. Okay. Is the Simulink window visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now, any doubts in the PID thing?
No, sir.
No,
You
sir.
have understood all three?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, why do you need to do this mathematical modeling? Instead, why can't we write a program, use an Arduino board, connect with the real system and enter this KP, Ka and KD values in the actual system itself and control it? Why do we need to do this in a Simulink with a mathematical model of some system? Why should we do this? Did you understand the question?
Yes, sir.
I'll directly give these 2.8 and 2 in a program which has an interface with the actual system. Okay, and I'll get the desired output. Why do I need to mathematically model that system and then try it out here when I can do it on a real system actually?
So the 2.8 and 2
Sir,
we
but these
arrived
values
using
we
trial
found
and
out
error
using this,
method.
right? Yeah.
We arrived at those using trial and error
We
method.
did not
right?
know
So
just like that. We put it here and we solved, and then we found out.
Yeah,
using
today you did
elimination
by
method.
trial and error.
Ah.
After few days, you will have some concepts based on which you will arrive at those values. Okay, but why can't I directly try on a real system?
You may cause some errors that may harm the actual system.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you
that
make
is
some
the-
mistake and then
Yeah, if it's a cheap system, then maybe you can try it out on the system itself. Suppose if it's a costly one, suppose you are designing a control system for an aircraft. In an aircraft, you cannot go and type KP, Ki, and KD values as your mind says and try out what is happening. Okay, it may a disaster may happen. Okay, you give some input, it will give you some output because you have not found out the KP, Ki, and KD values using some model like this. Okay, so it may cause damage to the actual system. So that is why we don't try it on a actual system. We create a mathematical model of it and then arrive at these three values, PID values, and then if this works, okay, this I look at the output, okay, this is okay for me. Now what I do, I take these three values, 2.8 and 2, I take it, I give it to the actual system. I give it in the actual system with the help of a program. Now what will happen? That should work accordingly as per the Simulink what it shows. Okay, will it work? Will it work?
Yes, yes, sir.
Almost, because we are not considering the non-linearities. Remember, this is a LTI system. Linear time invariant system. Okay, so this system what we have modeled is an LTI system which is slightly different from the actual system. Okay, so that is why whatever values you have found here will somewhat work closely but not exactly as what you see in the model. Okay, So for that, you need to bring in the non-linear effects and study those. Okay, so that we'll see later. So have you understood what we are trying to do? Have you got the bigger picture of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any doubts, any questions? I have not told you how to arrive at these three values. Okay, what I have told you is what each of these things does to the output. How to arrive at those values we'll discuss later. But you need to understand what is proportional meaning, what is integral meaning, what is derivative meaning here. Should you use all three every time?
Not necessary, so there are PI controllers also.
Yeah, it depends on the requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, if some overshoot is okay, if some 10% overshoot is okay for this system, then it's not necessary to use the derivative. Okay, you can live with the overshoot thing. Okay, so it depends on what is the requirement, and depending on that you can go with the P controller itself, you can go, or PI controller, PD controller, or PID controller. So all these combinations are possible. Okay, so if you have to try it in Simulink, you need to put a 0 here. If I put all 0, what will happen? If I put all 0, what will happen?
It won't be out, sir.
If I put all 0, the total is 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0 is coming out of this, 0 multiplied by this. Okay.
It will be 0.
It'll be
Okay.
0 only, sir.
GC of S is this whole thing. This is GC of S multiplied by G of S. So 0 multiplied by this will give you 0 only. Okay, I didn't run the program. You get 0. See, this is the output at 0. Okay, and this is the desired output. So if you put all zeros, it will not work. So you should have at least one here. If you're not controlling at all, you should have at least one here, so that without controller, you will get some value. Now this is the steady state error. This error is the steady state error. Okay, and that is what we try to improve with all these three values. Okay, it's time. Thank you. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, sir.